Okay, let's try this again, this time with sleep and ample time. So I've got for you today the 2025 Writer's Edition, dedicated to Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. This is the 1808 limited edition version. And as true to form, it comes in a simulated book. Oops. That has additional packaging. Unlike the special edition, the limited edition books come with a supplementary booklet that usually contains a letter or postcard from the author's life. This year it contains something about his adventures, and if the letter is to be believed, he went to Montblanc, and on that trip to Montblanc he came to, I guess, epiphanies about the joy of nature and all that sort of good stuff when you're out in the outdoors. And I think it's kind of neat to have a letter of the author's life that personally links him to Mont Blanc, the mountain. So there you go. A nice little addition to the pen that sort of gives it a bit more depth and richness. And then, as usual, a simulated book that contains the pen. Like the special edition, this is all paper-based packaging, except for the linen cover. And box made in Czech Republic. So the leaflet this year comes again in 5 languages, with lots of detail about the pen. Oh, actually no, 2 languages only, English and Chinese. As usual, I wonder if that's from the Chinese market. I've never actually gotten an answer for that. And this pen draws far more on his work as a statesman and a lawyer, and I think pulls on the I guess, garbs, ceremonial robes that he wore during some of the ceremonies that he took part in, that gave him increased standing in the political arena. Once again, the nib adorned with the devil and Faust. There we go. Now onto the pen itself. A absolutely beautiful, beautiful pairing of red carmine with gold, well, gold trim, of course it's gold plating, along with the depth that comes from a transparent surface layer. So, as they seem to be fond of doing, they've got a metal underlayer with a color base color, and then on top of that a clear lacquer coat, it looks like. It's a wonderful effect. I actually like it a lot when they go to the type of trouble involved in preparing a pen like this. So it's not easy doing this on a round surface, especially given the tendency of some of these enamels to pool. But yeah, it's a wonderful effect. I love the feeling. The entire shape of this pen pulls on quite a few different elements. So very much like the what's it called? The Brothers Grimm. They've got a domed finial. This time it's meant to be evocative of a globe topped with a mother of pearl emblem. So because he was a politician, the globe signifies his link to the world, of course. He wasn't an explorer, but still globe appropriate enough, I guess. This time, instead of being decorated with some sort of pattern taken from architecture. This pattern here, sort of repeating dotted circles, comes from one of the paintings that I think Rembrandt did for one of his first books. Very strange choice, repeated also on the cone here. So the pattern and the colors of the barrel are taken from, like I said, his robes, ceremonial robes that he wore during his, I guess, initiation into one of the societies, and that's repeated here in the cap. While the pattern is evocative of a robe, apparently the shape is evocative of jars in which he stored biological samples. So because he was quite a naturalist, he had a phenomenal, an absolutely massive collection of biological samples from nature, so animals, plants, all sorts of things. And the high artistry pens pull a lot more on that particular element of his life, and actually depict a pine cone. But here we've got, once again, more ornamentation on the cone. This is a piston filler that quite smooth. These limited edition pens always are quite reliable. Even if it's unwrapped, you can tell that it operates quite nicely. On the end of the cone, you're able to see that, you've got here, you can see the rays of a sun. So this apparently, it's a very repeated motif throughout many religious works, but apparently he was fond of this type of design and repeated it himself in some of his notes and letters. So I'm not going to open this, which is repeating a long-held tradition on my part for this type of pen. I don't plan on using it. It's not going to be particularly fun to have, I think, around the office. But yeah, let's do a size comparison. That's something that I'm often criticized for missing. There, his signature. We've got it here next to some of the other unwrapped years of Writer's Edition. So this is the Brothers Grimm, and there we go. Goethe, very similar finial structure, bulbous end, and sadly also very similar cones. Not too sure if that's on purpose. This, of course, meant to be a walking stick, and this feels very much like a walking stick, but the imagery in this pen is far more complicated. Like I say, this is supposed to be a jar, this is supposed to be a globe, and down here, I can't quite recall the symbolism of the lower half. So it is quite similar in size to its predecessors, a bit longer than the Tolstoy, and then a bit girthier than the Conan Doyle. I do enjoy seeing them all sort of grouped like that. And then for those of you who might prefer other types of pens, here it is next to, what is that? That's Lamy 2000, Pelikan M1000, 4149, the notorious Visconti Homo Sapien, and then a Montegrappa Elmo. There we go. I can't be bothered to open it. I really can't. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And yeah, this really is a really stunning pen. Let me know if you've got questions.